Warning, the following content has been rated S for seats. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, so there's been a rather big misconception regarding Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. And this big misconception is that apparently the graphics were downscaled for the retail release. Apparently, according to people, the game looked better in 2013 than it does currently in 2015. And they use the trailers compared here as proof of that. Now, the funny part about that is that they didn't actually compare gameplay clips from 2013 to 2015, because had they done that, they would have saw that that's absolutely not true. The current game looks quite a bit better than the 2013 version when it comes to pretty much everything. The textures are higher quality. The frame rate is more consistent. It just all around looks better. But they chose the easy way out and used the simplest thing that they could do to compare without doing any actual research. And that would be comparing the little intro trailers for both years. Now, I'm going to point out the problem with this. And I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can possibly do this, because I'm hungry as hell. I haven't eaten dinner yet, but I want to hurry up and make this video before I eat and get tired, pretty much, and get the itis. But anyway, so first we have this first shot. I'm gonna do a shot-by-shot comparison so you guys can see why you're wrong. Now, when you look at this shot, the first thing that you probably immediately notice is the character models, like the legs, the feet. They look different. And a lot of people are like, oh, look, they significantly downscale. Look at the character. There's way more detail before. Yet these people don't know is that you customize your character. The reason why he has on different gear is because you can make them have different gear. They've shown this part of the game 3 separate times, and each time the niggas had different gear on. So fail. Have that seat there. Second, people want to bring up the ground textures. That's the main thing I've seen people bring up. Now, there's 2 reasons why the ground here looks different. One, the first shot is really dark, and you can't see how bad the ground textures are. And 2, most importantly, this was a pretty much a real-time cutscene or whatever. And when they reshoot them, they don't necessarily put them in the same exact place as they were before. And if you think that's damage control, check this out. Now look at both of the characters' positions, right? Now I want you to look on the picture from 2013. Look on the top left, and you see 2 niggas' feet, right? You see a NPC, right? See his legs, okay? Now go to the top right of that same picture, and you see some other people's legs walking by. Now look at the one from the direct from 2015. Look at the top left. Look how far that guy is from you. Look at the top right. Look how far that guy is from you. That's because they're not even on the same part of the level. They're not in the same part of the room. That's why the textures look different. They're not in the same part, and the lighting is significantly different. Don't believe me? Let's go to the next picture. Now, if you guys hear any like clicking noises, because I'm actually adding these pictures to this as we go along. Now, if you look in the next picture, magically the ground textures look similar again, don't they? Wow, that's amazing. It's because they were on different parts of the floor. Have that seat. Now, next comparison. Here we see that the bloom lighting has been significantly pared down. Now, people are automatically going to say, oh, well, I mean, they're just doing it to cut hardware costs. No. Looks like they toned the lighting down because it was kind of overdone. There's a such thing as too much bloom lighting. And if you look at the original shot, there's so much bloom that you're actually missing details. Now, if you look on the direct screen, textures and details are much easier to see. There's still bloom lighting there, but it's not super overdone. You can see more details in the ceiling. You can see even more details actually on the floor. You can see more details everywhere because they pared the lighting down purposely. This is not a hardware taxing thing. They pared it down purposely. So next, I know people are going to say, well, why isn't there, what happened to all the scales? They took the scales out because the Wii U couldn't handle it. So let me get this straight. You guys think that they took 3 or 4 stationary scales, not doing anything, out of this scene that's not actually even really gameplay, because the Wii U couldn't handle it? Yet you've seen scenes of actual gameplay with 3 or 4 scales at a time, playable and online, and you think that they had to remove stationary scales from a scene of a nigga walking down a hallway? Are y'all retarded? No. They probably took it out because, like all games currently in development, they make changes. They moved stuff around. There's been plenty of times where games are shown that aren't finished, where a situation in the game completely changes. Maybe you were originally supposed to start off with a whole bunch of scales and they changed it. You guys need to use your brain sometime. This is not a hardware issue. This is something that they just made a change to. They pared the lighting down so that you could see more detail. They moved lighting sources, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute. Let's see what the next comparison is. Now, see, here we go, right here. This shows proof that they moved the light sources. If you look at the bottom of both scales, you see that one has bloom lighting at the bottom that's reflecting off, and even on the reflecting off of the floor, and the original shot doesn't. It's because they move stuff around. There's even details and stuff in the new version that wasn't in the original, and vice versa. You look at the thing that is standing to on the right, because of them changing the lighting around, you can actually see more detail. Actually, I think they added more detail to it, but because of the lighting change, you can see even more detail. These were intentional changes. They're not downscales. All right, let's see the next one. Ooh, wrong shot. All right, so in this next shot, this also is not graphics being scaled down. This is them changing a freaking camera angle. Now, was this a good idea for them to do? In my opinion, no. I think the original looked more stylish. I don't think they should focus on their showing the face of their character models, which have questionable art direction. No, I think that was a bad decision. But the graphics were not scaled down. They were just changed around. The lighting was changed. You see there's hardly any lighting in the original shot. In the new shot, they're showing the character. They're showing the main character. There's bloom lighting. This is why he looks like he's freaking glowing. They just made changes. It was not downscaled. In the next picture, a lot of people were trying to say that this shows that they downscaled it here. No, they didn't. If you pay attention, you see that, first of all, The reason why you can see more detail of the scale he's in is because the camera is further away in the original. Look how close he is in the new one. And they actually added details. Like now they have a part where they cover your freaking shoulder that wasn't in the original. They also have it. They don't lose the. They added to where you actually see everything inside instead of it being pitch black, which I think was a bad decision because I thought it looked cooler before. But again, that is not a downscale. And then the next shot we have here, again, it's pitch black in the background in the original version. In the new one, you can see everything. And there's actually more. Look at that. There's more bloom lighting on the newer version. They didn't downscale this freaking game. They made changes. There is a difference. Now, in the final shot here, the untrained eye is going to say, oh, look at that, man. Look at that background. It looks completely different. Downscaled. No. And I'm going to tell you a reason why the background looks completely different. Almost like a completely different area. You know why? Because that is a completely different area. That isn't even the same part of the stage. They reshot it there, but that is not even the same part. Look at it. That is not even the same area. Are y'all silly? And then you're going to have some noobs talking about seeing the video and going to say, oh, well, the new version, the background looks blurry. The reason why the background looks blurry is because they added a depth of field effect. You guys are silly. This video has gone on too long, but I rest my case. The game was not downscaled. It actually looks better than it ever did. They moved lighting around. They moved other things around. The game hasn't been downscaled. Stop spreading false information and continue that seat.